it's very quiet.
Should we just start?
Sure, why not? We'll just vamp.
Ready for
You
it?
know.
1, 2, 3.
Joy is my source, joy is my power, joy gives me everything that I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, joy gives me everything that I need. Love is my source, love is my power, love gives me everything that I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, love gives me everything that I need. Love is my source, love is my power, love gives me everything I need.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Toronto. My name is Tanis. If you are with us for the first time, a little housekeeping, couple of announcements. You were given a program when you came through the door. Lyrics to songs we are doing are on there. Good morning to everybody watching at home, either today, live in person, or in archives. Class registration is open. You can sign up in the bookstore. You can sign up online. All of our classes listed are in the program. They are also listed online. So sign up for those. Books are, I know the bookstore has books. Corresponding books for the courses may be there. I'm not sure. I didn't check with Jonathan. I apologize. They may be there. If not, they will be there in time for the course start. So sign up. Fill your brains this summer. No, I have long weekend brain. Fill your brains this fall. I'm going to vamp until I see Jonathan appear. There he is. There he comes. Let's put our hands together for Reverend Jonathan Zenz.
Good morning. How is everyone this morning?
Wonderful.
Amazing. It's great to see you all here this morning. I'm grateful that you've decided to join us on this beautiful, beautiful holiday weekend. And, we are few in number, but we are mighty in spirit today. Yes. So let's kick it off with this little light of mine. You all know this. If you feel compelled to stand up and dance, please do.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Well, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Every day, 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 every day. Gonna let my little light shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Well, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Every day, 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 every day. Gonna let my little light shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Well, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Every day, 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 every day. Gonna let my little light shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Every day, 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 every day. Gonna let my little light shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Well, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Every day, 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 every day. Gonna let my little light
Good morning. Well, that's a pepper. I mean, that peps you up, doesn't it? That's a pepper. I don't know what that means. That peps you up, doesn't
I'm a
it?
pepper, you're a pepper. Wouldn't
I'm
you
a
like
pepper.
your
You're a pepper.
I'm a pepper.
Wouldn't you like to be a pepper
Pepper
too?
too.
We come here as a spiritual community every Sunday to celebrate, and that's really what this is all about. I'm all about celebrating life. I'm about celebrating the good things in life, and that's what I stand for in this center. Oh, I'm a little out of breath. Just going to take a moment, have a glass of water. I do want to say welcome to all of you, and welcome to anybody who's joining us for the first time. Welcome to new faces, and welcome to anybody who's watching us online. As if you're watching us in the archive live right now, it's always now. So whenever you're watching, it's right now. Yeah, but I'm grateful to know that you are part of this community as well. So thank you for joining us here. So we are, like I said, we are a spiritual community, and one of the things I talked about last week, it's really stuck with me, is that phone message that I got where I was asked what the core foundational principle of the science of mind is, and it is love. And that's what's really been resonating with me. This week I got to celebrate that. I'm going to talk a little bit about a celebration of love that I got to experience yesterday. So it's all good news, right? Yeah. Life is good news. Can we all accept that?
Yes.
Beautiful. We have a wonderful core of practitioners in this center who love to stand up here and offer their inspirational wisdom, and I'm so grateful for each and every one of them. I did teach my first practitioner class over the course of the last 2 years, and the woman who's going to speak today is one of 9 brilliant stars of that class. You see, they're all stars, just to be clear. They bring to this philosophy their own flavor, and that's what I'm really grateful for, because at the end of the day, it's not about adhering to any specific thing or any ideology that I tell you about. It's about what do you bring to your own life, and that's what these beautiful, beautiful souls have all committed themselves to, is to bringing life to their life. And so, here to inspire us today, please welcome to the lectern Judy Southern.
What a beautiful day it is, too. And this is not to be a downer, but the word that's been coming up in my life the last few weeks has been the word fear, the idea of fear. Not that I'm afraid of anything right now, it's just that what is fear? What do we do with it, and how do we deal with this possibly habitual way of thinking? And there's no shortage of fear, of course, that comes up in the media. We're always being bombarded with stuff to be afraid of, aren't we? So we have to learn to deal with that too. Now, I had fears when I was a child. One of my phobias are interesting fears, aren't they? I was afraid of moths. I'm not that comfortable with them now, but I've matured a little, and I'm a little braver today about moths. But my sister used to say to me, she got a little tired of seeing me squeamish when moths were around me, and she said, I'm going to lock you up in a closet full of moths so that you'll get over that. Well, that didn't really do much for me. But, when I was going to university at night while I was teaching in my 20s, I was home one hot summer night with my balcony door open, and that's when all the moths come in. And it's not butterflies or grasshoppers or anything like that, it was moths. I don't want to describe them to you because it makes me creepy. But anyway, it was about 1 o'clock. I'd finished my essay and I was going to bed, and there was a moth on my pillow. I thought, oh God, what am I going to do? So I knew my girlfriend on the 5th floor. I was on the 3rd floor. I knew she'd be up. So I phoned her and I told her my problem. And only a friend would do this. She came down armed with a container with a lid, and she scooped it up and threw it out and she has reminded me of her friendship in that area ever since. So, I'm a little braver today, as I say. I had a fear of flying. And I was the white knuckler on a plane. And then when my husband and I started sailing, I started to look around at how the waves bounce the boat around, and I thought, oh, the air bounces the plane around. Hey, this is cool. And of course, I just trust. So I love flying. I'm getting on a plane in later in August, to go visit my son in Vancouver, and I really look forward to the flight. I have also been afraid of heights. Now, I am not going to do the edge walk on the CN Tower. I am not going to do that. I have been to the top of the CN Tower. I have no desire to want to do that edge walk. But anyway, so those are fears that I have dealt with in my lifetime, and then other fears too. So we all have fears. Beyond those, I won't call them silly fears, but there's everyday fears, just the fear of doing the thing that allows us to be who we are. Some of us, we have fear of stepping forward a lot of the time. And in fact, Ernest Holmes says that fear is the great enemy of man. And a quote from The Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes says, "Fear is the reverse mental attitude of faith and is the result of lack of faith. Fear brings limitation and lack in its wake and destroys the happiness and the possibility of a greater degree of livingness to those who suffer from it." Isn't that interesting? To suffer from fear. It's something you suffer from. And in the dictionary, I found a definition. Fear is an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain or a threat. The belief. So it's an illusion. It's a belief. And we've all heard the acronym false evidence appearing real. So it's the belief. It appears to be real, but it really isn't. Mark Twain has said, "I've suffered a great many catastrophes in my life. Most of them never happened." That's the fear. And who's this, DC? Oh, Dale Carnegie said, "You can conquer almost any fear if you will only make up your mind to do so. For remember, fear doesn't exist anywhere except in the mind." So how do we overcome fear when it shows up? Well, we know there are two emotions, and we talk a lot about love and fear. And anything besides love and fear are really subcategories of love and fear. So love is the answer. See everything with love. And have faith that God is the only source of all our supply, and have the faith of God. Not so much faith in God. Having faith in God puts God out there. Faith of God sort of reinforces the God that we are, the God that's within us. We are expressions of God. And when we fully embrace that we are divine expressions of God, it's so much easier to let go of fear. Ralph Waldo Emerson has said, "Always do what you are afraid to do." Now, I've always believed in feel the fear and do it anyway. I've jumped into so many things that I really was afraid to do, and I'm so glad I did, because really it was just the belief that held me back. And when you do these things that you're afraid to do, it's really so easy. So faith and love are the answer. And we've all heard from Scripture, not that I'm an expert on Scripture, perfect love casts out all fear. Perfect love casts out all fear. So my affirmation for us today, please say it with me twice when you hear it. I live with the faith of God. I see everything with love. I live with the faith of God. I see everything with love. I live with the faith of God. I see everything with love. Namaste.
Namaste. I don't often do the sign with this, but I'm going to do the sign with this today. I'm going to invite you all to take what it is you've heard today from Judy and allow it to just resonate there. There is an energy that is moving through this place right here. It is being expressed by means of each and every one of us. And when we give over to that energy of love, there is nothing to fear. There is only love. That's the truth. Right here, right now, I trust this, and I know this. And so we'll concretize this into mind with this beautiful, beautiful song. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. And so with a breath, I invite you to be open to these words of affirmative prayer from Judy right here, right now.
And I know right here and right now that God is all there is, and that God flows through every fiber of each of our beings. There is one life, and that life is God's life, and that life is our life now. And knowing our divine connection to our source and to each other, I know that I see God in everyone. I see God in everyone and in everything, because God is all there is. And I know that love is the answer. God is love. Love is God. God is light and life, and love is the answer to all. Love is all there is. God is all there is. And knowing this truth, I know that life unfolds perfectly as we relax and allow life and love and God to flow through us gracefully and easefully. And so knowing this truth, I am grateful. I am grateful for this knowledge. I am grateful for life and love. I release these words, knowing that they are so for each of us. I let it go. I let God be God. And together we say, and so it is.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. Thank you so much, Judy, for that. You have intuited my talk brilliantly today. I almost feel like I could go home, but I won't. That's about where it was, I think. Yeah. We have a special treat today, a very special treat. And it turns out that there's a connection that we became aware of right before service. It's a very small world, because you're all connected in a way with Reverend James Mellon in Southern California, because he was my mentor in ministry. He's come and visit us many times here, and he installed me as a minister here. He's going to do my ordination ceremony, which is happening in November, And it turns out that our musical guest today knows James Mellon. Totally like we had no idea that there was this connection, but it's a beautiful connection. I actually texted him and I said, you should watch the service online. So he may be watching. If you're watching, James, it's lovely to have you here with us. Our musical guest today is, just a delight, an angel, and I know that you will enjoy the beautiful, beautiful gift of her voice. Please welcome Monique McDonald. Monique McDonald. Well, that's something special. There's I love music. I mean, I say this every week practically. I love music. Music has been such an integral part of my life, and it's funny that you bring this particular song, because I started thinking about, I haven't listened to Gershwin in years, and I was thinking about, as I was growing up, not that long ago, I went through phases of, I was never one for like the pop music scene. Like, it just was never kind of my thing. I mean, yes, in high school, I kind of decided I was going to try and be a little, a little alternative. So I listened to a lot of Depeche Mode, and I listened to Erasure. And I think part of Erasure is because, oh my gosh, there's an openly gay person that's actually very clear about being gay. And so that really appealed to me, because I was not at that time able to be an openly gay person. And Yaz and modern English and Simple Minds, and so that was kind of a period of my life. And then I really transitioned into really becoming interested in what is really known as the Great American Songbook. And I got very heavily into listening to Irving Berlin and Cole Porter and the Gershwins, and it's music that to this day absolutely still touches my soul. And I am so grateful to you for that, because it was just stunning. Thank you. Yeah. And it's funny, because Fran and Monique are friends. That's how Monique has come to be here with us today. And she said, well, I think Monique may sing Summertime. And I said, well, I don't know that I can really do a metaphysical talk around summertime, but bring it. Let's see what happens. And it's absolutely perfect with exactly what I want to talk about today. Because Spirit knows, and I'm just going to let Spirit flow today. Summertime and the living is easy. How many of you believe that living is easy? Good. That was a rousing majority. Boy, are you in the right place today. Easy-ish. Okay. Today, my intention is that you will understand by the end of my talk that living is easy. Anything that is antithetical to living is something that we are layering upon our experience of life and deciding that it's hard. That's it. That's the whole teaching, right? I mean, that's it. Living is easy. But we get wrapped up, like Judy says, we get wrapped up into these spirals of fear, and we decide that the fear is the truth. The fear is not the truth. The fear is probably not doing the edge walk either. Although more and more I'm considering it, because why not face that fear?
I'm going on Thursday.
Oh.
At noon, Jonathan. I'll see you there.
Not yet. I'm not there yet. I'm working my way up to it. And you know what? It's perfectly okay to allow yourself the time that it takes to address the fears and deal with them as they come up. Thursday's too quick. But I started thinking about the edge walk, and I thought, well, that's just another, since you brought it up, that's just another level of experience beyond what used to be a deep fear of heights that I had. Now, when I was at the NoHo Art Center for New Thought in Southern California and being trained by my mentor in ministry, James, I was there also as an actor with their acting company, and I was their resident sound designer. I mean, there is nothing that I have not done in my life, I'm starting to think. I have done everything. I used to sell shoes. Of course, I've waited tables. I've been a bartender. I've done it all. I have not sung opera, although I did train classically somewhat a little bit for a period. But since you're not familiar, I've got to paint a picture for you of the NoHo Art Center for New Thought, their theater space. First of all, it's got very high ceilings, right up to the rafters. It's probably about 30 feet. And the stage actually is on 2 levels. If you've ever watched his services online, you may have noticed that there actually is a second level. He doesn't utilize it all that much during service, but there's a second level on the stage. It's like a balcony that's a permanently installed balcony that wraps around the stage. It's a very interesting design. And then they have the stage deck. And then the audience, the house, we call it the house, is actually a heavily raked auditorium. That's what I'm trying to say. Yes. So all the chairs are at a very steep angle that all look down onto this, postage stamp-sized stage. And it seats 100 people, and it's a lovely, lovely space. But when I came in there initially and did have a deep fear of heights, one of the first jobs that I was tasked with doing was rehanging all of the speakers and rerunning all of the lines through the rafters up above. And the only way to do that is to basically get a ladder, go up there, and do it. Because the way the building is designed, you cannot get one of those cherry pickers. You can't get that because you could put it in the front row and you could go up to one little spot, and that's it. So I had to get over that fear. I had to get over that fear because if I didn't get over it, then the work was not going to be done in the way that was expected of me. So I addressed it. And I faced it. And that's really what it takes to overcome fear. You have to face it. You have to face it. Now, fear comes in many, many guises. Fear comes in many guises. And sometimes what we experience, we don't even realize is fear that is playing out in our lives. And that's when I'm talking about like the subconscious play of life that we experience as well. 90% of our thoughts are below the level of our conscious awareness, but 100% of our thoughts are creating our experience. So 10% we're actually aware of. And the job that we have, and what I am tasking you each week with our homework, remember, we're doing homework every week. I don't have an assignment this week because it's a holiday weekend. But I'm giving you basically tools that you can use to deepen your conscious awareness so you can tap into that other 90%. And as you tap into that other 90%, becoming aware of what's really happening in your lives, then you get to have the opportunity of saying, I see this, I'm going to address it to the degree that I need to address it. And sometimes it's, I see this, it's wonderful, and I accept more and more and more. And sometimes you see this, and you say, this is not working for me any longer, so I will shift it. I will change it. And I am at liberty to change it because I am in charge of my life. There is nothing out there that is saying I must be in such and such a way. But this is the work that we do. This is the work that we do. And it's all a negotiation. That's why today I talked about the negotiation. That's the title of the talk, the negotiation. Because all of life, at the end of the day, is easing ourselves through this negotiation of the conscious and the subconscious. Realizing that at the end of the day, we are in charge is the thing that makes our lives better. And that's when we can stand up and say, you know what, summertime and the living is easy? Absolutely. My life is easy. My life is easy now. But you know what? It wasn't always that way. I've had hard times in my life. I'm sure nobody else in here can relate to that. Because nobody else here has ever had hard times in their lives, ever. There were times in my life when I experienced the concept of being poor, not having enough, feeling lack, and wondering where my next meal was coming from. I have experienced the fear of people knowing who I really am. But we all on some level experience these things once in a while. How gracefully are we moving through them? And that's the spiritual tools we have at hand. Spiritual tools allow life to become more graceful so that when we are faced with perceptions of challenge, we can easily address them. Now, I've been really, really influenced today because I picked up a little book. And I keep talking about wanting to get this in our bookstore, and we should have this in our bookstore. I don't know if any of you have ever read it. It's a wonderful little pamphlet called The Mental Equivalent by Emmett Fox. And Emmett Fox was a divine science minister. This is published by Unity. And at the end of the day, don't read the Science of Mind textbook because all you need to know is right here. Right? I mean, it's funny because I talk about the Science of Mind textbook. All you need to know is in the first 20 pages in the introduction before you ever get to the proper book. It's kind of the same thing. This is such a simple teaching. At the end of the day, it is simple, and we complicate it. We decide that it's hard. We decide that we are not able to overcome certain things in our lives. We decide that. But it's easy. It's easy. It's easy. Can you truly accept the ease of life? So I flagged a couple spots in this that I wanted to read, because every time I read this, I resonate with something different. And this is what really hit me today. Everything that you see or feel on the material plane, whether it is your body, your home, your business, or your city, is but the concrete expression of a mental equivalent that you hold. What he's saying is this: everything out there is the expression of whatever it is you have in here. That's it. Everything that shows up in your life is simply the outpicturing of what is happening in your mind first and foremost. Now, we tend to think that those things out there are not within the realm of our control. But like I talked about last week, those things are in our control because we control our reaction to those things. So if we see some ill effect like war, there's a lot of war going on in the world right now. If we see some ill effect like war, how do we approach it? Love. If we bring the consciousness of love to that paradigm, then it shifts for us. And as it shifts for us, as we live our lives in love, as we change our minds to accept only love, we resonate that, we expand upon that. That loving energy goes forth from us to affect the people around us who may be receptive to it. Now, some people are not receptive to it. We are not responsible for them. But to the degree that we allow ourselves to simply express in that way, we begin to change the world. That is one way that we can address war. We bring the love to life. We express the love of life. And we allow our thoughts to reside only in one place, and that is peace. That's it. That is it. So this gives us a tool to be able to watch the news. Because I know people go on news fasts. I go on news fasts sometimes. But we can watch the news. We can see, we can observe what's happening in the world around us without fear. See? If we are allowing ourselves to get wrapped up in that thing that seems to be antithetical to great living, then all we are doing is allowing the fear to take hold. We're not stepping into the negotiation. We're saying, I'm in fear and this is where I stay. But it is work. It is work to negotiate out of fear and into love. A lot of people are not willing to do that work. Now there's another thing that he wrote here. You ready? It's the secret of successful living. Now I'll go through that next week. So the secret of successful living is this: to build the mental equivalent that you want and to rid yourself of the mental equivalent that you do not want. That's it. Build the mental equivalent you want and allow yourself to get rid of the mental equivalent you do not want. Now, how do you do this? I'm going to do a little demonstration. I would like you all in this moment to not think about the CN Tower. And in not thinking about the CN Tower, how many of you have the CN Tower now in your mind? Yeah. All right. So don't think about the CN Tower, and I'm going to tell you a little story. I got to officiate a beautiful wedding yesterday. Some of you were, how many of you, actually, not a rhetorical question. How many of you were here for our winter gala last year where we did the show, How to Succeed at Christmas? So most of you will know the reference I'm about to make. Rebecca Castellino, who was one of the cast members in that show, she had the long, dark hair. It was her sister who was getting married, Rachel, and I officiated their wedding yesterday. It was gorgeous. We were out at a country club in Mississauga, and the wedding was outdoors, and basically we were at the top of a hill, and you could see right down into the valley, and there was this beautiful river that was flowing through, and just absolutely stunning. And it was a great experience, too, for me, because it was I consider myself, I am a religious science minister, but I also really consider myself an interfaith minister because I don't really adhere to one specific faith. We bring in elements of Christianity and Hinduism and Buddhism, and it's part of what we stand for is recognizing that all paths to God are the right path. So we do not adhere to one particular faith as a primary faith within this philosophy. So it was a little bit of a challenge because I am marrying two people. The groom and his family are Hindu and come from a Hindu background. And the bride and her family are Catholic and come from a Catholic background. So here I am, the interfaith minister, and they come to me and they say, can you help us resolve so that we can have a ceremony that will be embraced and honored by both sides of the family? And I said, you know what? Absolutely. Absolutely, because here's what we preface it with. There is one thing at the core, there's one idea at the core of all religion. There is one idea, and it's threaded through every religion, and that is love. And that's what we're celebrating here today, isn't it? And so we brought in elements of Catholicism, we brought in elements of a Hindu tradition, and it was one of my favorite things is there's a point at which the father of the bride comes up, and the bride was wearing a shawl, and the groom was wearing a scarf, and they get tied together as a symbolic thing, and then I talk about the tie that they had together. And then there's another point where they go around, we light a fire, and then they walk around the fire 4 times, and I talk about the aspects of walking around the fire. And all of that, at the end of the day, represents the journey of life, and that they are taking their time now to commit to living it hand in hand in deep love. Isn't it beautiful? We can put our minds on love and celebrate love in its many, many facets in the way that it shows up. Now, I have a question for you. How many of you are still thinking about the CN Tower? It just came back now. This is a demonstration of the power of the mind. Remember what I said is to not think about the CN Tower, which of course then brings up the CN Tower. Far too many of us are approaching this philosophy, especially if you're early on in this philosophy, we are approaching this philosophy by saying, I will not think about blah. That's the approach that doesn't work. The approach that works is to set your mind on what it is you choose to experience. That's it. That's it. Allow thoughts of love and only love. Allow thoughts of peace and only peace. Allow thoughts of light and only light. This is the work we do. I look upon a beautiful, beautiful group of people here, and all I see is the face of God. In every single face, all I see is the face of God. And that's because this is my decision. To recognize and know that no matter whom I encounter, no matter where I go, I choose to see only the face of God. That took practice. And I still find the challenge occasionally. I do. And it's in those moments that I have to step back and say, you know what? I got this. I have studied. I have allowed myself to come through this to know a deeper, deeper idea that God is all there is. This is what I stand for. Love is all there is. And as I embrace this more and more, then I can't help but only see God in every face. That's it. Now, God is a big word for people. I'm going to address this yet again. God is a big word for some people, and that's okay. When I talk about God, I'm not talking about that thing out there. I'm talking about the inner energy, the inner love that is expressed through and as each and every one of us. That's it. God being a principle rather than a personality. God is consciousness. God is not something. God is all things. So, check in with yourself. What is your negotiating point? What are the things, and I'm going to invite you to bring to mind right here and right now, the things or thing that you choose to address this week. What is that place of fear in you? And can you now make the commitment to address that this week so that you can move easily through the fear and allow yourself to resonate only with love? And it may be a physical thing like doing the edge walk. It may be some place where you feel anger towards someone. It may be any number of things, but at the core of it is fear. And are you now willing? Are you now ready? Are you now able to step into the antidote to fear, which is love? If there is anger, and I've experienced anger toward people, what I have found works best for me is to step into forgiveness. Because usually if I'm angry at somebody, it's because of something that I perceived they did, some effect that they have foisted upon me. But at some level, I had to be receptive to that. Otherwise, it would not have shown up in my experience, first and foremost. So I must now step into forgiveness because at the end of the day, it was not their responsibility to make me feel good. It was not their responsibility to make me feel loved or welcomed. And so I forgive whatever it was that I perceived as an ill effect being thrust upon me. And at the end of the day, it's not me forgiving them, it's me forgiving myself. Loving myself, and therefore being able to look upon that person and love them too. These are perceived challenges. Now, one of the other things that Emmett Fox talks about is thought and belief. And this is my big, thought, belief, and feeling. This is my big, I talk about it a lot because I feel like the philosophy and the way that philosophy is taught is still a little off kilter. And it is my desire to bring to light the understanding that at the end of the day, the most important aspect of thought and belief is the feeling that you have behind it, because it is the feeling that is going to shift the experience at the end of the day. Thoughts and beliefs are great, and they can help address the feeling that you have, but at the end of the day, it is the feeling that creates change. So it is not change your thinking, change your life. It is not change your beliefs, change your life. It is change your feeling, change your life. Change your feeling, change your life. And now a lot of people also live in the place of fear where they do not realize that they actually are in control of their feelings. And I can prove this, that you are in control of your feelings. If anyone wakes up on the wrong side of the bed this week, the moment you wake up and have that recognition, make a decision. And allow that decision to be felt at the core of your being, and understand that it is not acceptable to live a day where you woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Allow yourself to live in love. Now, the other thing about feeling that he also addresses is this idea. It's not necessarily about feeling joy all the time. That could get old. It's about what is that energetic, resonant place within that is creating your life, and knowing that you are in charge of it. Now, joy all the time is a lovely thing, I suppose, But I also honor that I feel sad sometimes. That's an okay place to be. I don't really want to go down the road of saying I feel angry. I don't actually get angry too much anymore. I do get angry once in a while, but anger is always a subset of another thing. And if you look more deeply, the anger is being born out of some other thing. So I don't really go down the road of anger anymore. I usually allow myself to go to that place of more deeply recognizing what is the kernel, that seed that allowed the anger to come up in the first place. And that's what needs to be addressed. So if you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, make a decision. Make a decision. Tell yourself in that moment, I choose only love. And this is part of the negotiation. Like you don't think about the CN Tower. Don't say to yourself, I choose not to feel this way. Allow yourself to say, I choose to feel only love. I choose to express only love. Allow yourself to meditate with that. Allow yourself to breathe that energy in. Allow yourself the luxury, and it is a luxury, of knowing that you are in charge. The luxury of stating for yourself the infinite spiritual truth, which is love only. And so in a roundabout way, I've come to what we stand for within this center. Love only, forgive everything, and remember who you are. Because at the end of the day, it's easy to begin to walk around the city and look at people and see their beautiful faces and say, you are the face of God. I see the face of God. I understand the face of God. In remembering who you are, the next step is stand in front of the mirror and say it to yourself. Because if you cannot say it to yourself and mean it, there may be something there that is holding you back from knowing it truthfully about every single other person you encounter. So there's your homework. See, I didn't have homework. Now you have homework. It's going to be mirror work this week. Allow yourself every day to look in the mirror and think to yourself, I love you. Believe for yourself, I love you. And feel for yourself, I love you. Do that every single day and see if your life does not transform. Does that sound like some good homework this week? It's easy, right? Until you're terrified and standing there and going, and that's the thing. When you're faced with it, it can be difficult. But it's a good exercise, so I invite you all to take part in that this week. The creative spirit is fully expressed by means of each and every one of us right here in this very moment, and I am grateful for it. And I'm grateful for all of you and your participation in this experience with me, because it may seem like you're sitting there just listening, but you're participating. You are participating because we have now created an energy within this room that expands beyond these walls and expands into this city, and we are the point at which change is occurring right here and right now because we have decided, and that's the truth. Namaste.
Anybody who has a birthday or an anniversary this month, did you fill out a ballot? Anybody who didn't? All right, we're going to carry on. In honor of the, I'm calling it Caravana. I can't use the new name of the festival. It's Caravana. So in honor of Caravana weekend, happy birthday to you all. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary.
All right, we should have rehearsed that a little more. Oh, well.
It's okay, we had 20 extra minutes of rehearsal today, and clearly that's the song that needed the rehearsal.
Go figure.
You ready? All right.
That was before we had coffee.
Yes. So for those of you who may not understand what is happening right now, at the first Sunday of every month, if you are celebrating a birthday or an anniversary in that month, we have you write your name and a registered Canadian charity down on a piece of paper, and a percentage of whatever we took in contributions last month will then be donated to this charity. So the winner today is... Why don't you choose? Are you celebrating? Okay. All right. The winner is Margaret Ann Snyder. And our registered charity is Hospice Toronto. Thank you so much. Beautiful. So with that, I invite you to take do a little noodling, Fran. Just a little. Sure. Yeah, that would be lovely. A little noodling. I have done my, it's. I'm going to invite you to take whatever it is you have to offer the center today in terms of a tithe, an investment.
Feelings.
Nothing more than the feeling. Okay. Oh. Yes.
Yep.
I have fine consciousness that allows beautiful humor to be brought to this experience. So I'm going to invite you to take whatever it is you are offering the center today. And if you are a member of our Step Up program, take your card out and hold it in your hand. If you are offering a cash donation or a check, whatever it is, hold it in your hand. If you're online with us, I invite you to participate in this expression of givingness as well by clicking the donate button. But recognize and know what this is. This is love expressed. It is simply an idea expressed. And it is allowing ourselves to invest in that larger expression of circulation by means of giving. And so as we give, so we receive. It is a perfect, perfect cycle of life expressed right here and right now. That is the energy that I choose to give with today. So, in love, I am going to give. As the baskets go around, we're going to sing. Oh, this is one of my favorites.
Yes, you're leading on this.
I'm leading on this. A great song of gratitude. And you get to participate too. You ready? Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Sing that.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
This healing, this healing, this healing 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 day.
Does that sound good? I'm coming to you, Judy. Do you have something that you feel gratitude for? Health. All right. Sing this and mean it. Thank you for my health, Spirit. Thank you for my health.
Thank you for my health, Spirit. Thank you for my health.
Thank you for my health, Spirit. Thank you for my health.
Thank you for my health, Spirit. Thank you for my health.
My radiant, my radiant, my radiant 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 health.
Who has something else that they are feeling grateful for today? Yes. Courage. courage. I have to think about this. It'll come to me. Thank you for my courage, Spirit. Thank you for my courage.
Thank you for my courage, Spirit. Thank you for my courage.
Thank you for my courage, Spirit. Thank you for my courage.
Thank you for my courage, Spirit. Thank you for my courage.
My unwavering, unwavering, unwavering courage.
My unwavering, unwavering, unwavering courage.
My unwavering, unwavering, unwavering courage.
Unwavering, unwavering, unwavering courage.
I said, thank you,
Thank you,
thank you,
thank you,
thank you.
thank you, thank you.
All right. Thank you all, and thank you for your participation. I'm going to invite Judy up to do a blessing over the offering.
I am grateful. I am grateful for health and courage and love, and I'm grateful for everyone here, and I'm grateful for the blessings in these baskets, these blessings that are given with love, and then go forward to create extraordinary lives. Allow this center to expand and to expand and to create beauty and love everywhere. And so, with great gratitude, I release these words to the perfect law. I let it go, I let it be so, and together we say, and so it is.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. I want to make sure that I've covered everything that I need to cover today. I'm going to look at my notes. I do want to do a pitch for Judy's workshop, which is coming up. If you are interested, she's doing a workshop on August 16th called A Spiritual Approach to Dementia Care. Judy and I have had lots of discussions about her path in practitioner work, and this is a major part of what she is choosing to do with her practitioner license, is to really step into dementia care and do it in a very profound way. And I'm grateful to her for bringing her workshop here. So if that is something that resonates with you, I invite you to join her that day, the 16th, which is 2 weeks from today. I want to offer my gratitude to everyone who made today possible. And first and foremost, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us here on this beautiful holiday weekend. Since many of you could have decided to be at the cottage, you've decided to be at this cottage. And I am grateful for that. I want to thank our board members on duty today, Linda and Margaret Ann. Thank you for your service. I want to thank Lori, who set up today. Also, our greeters, Sandra and Lynette. And Nick in the bookstore. Grateful for Nick, as always. I'm grateful for Carrie on our soundboard, and Shah Rose going solo for the first time on our webcast. Yes, yes, yes. I'm grateful for Mahala with the dynamic kids today. Yes. I want to thank Margaret Ann for her brilliant, beautiful meditation today. And the always inspiring, wise words of Judy Southern. Thank you so much. I want to thank Pierre Gautreau, the entire Queen Street Band. And I so deeply want to thank the brilliance that was brought to our world today in Monique McDonald. Thank you so much. Now, last week, we sang a song and allowed that to be the closing prayer, the closing treatment, and we're going to do the exact same thing today, and you'll understand why. So I invite back to the microphone Monique McDonald. Thank you so much. So let's kick it out into the street today with Breathe the Same Air. Have a great week, everyone.
Well, it's an idea
Told ya.
whose time has come. A new generation decides as one. Of the same small planet we are born. It's never been so obvious before. We breathe the same air, drink the same water, walk the same earth, kiss the same sky. We breathe the same air, and I think we ought to get along better, you and I. The future of history is crystal clear. The borders between us will disappear. Of the same small planet we are born, and there's no foreign country anymore. We breathe the same air and drink the same water, walk the same earth, kiss the same sky. We breathe the same air, and I think we ought to get along better, you and I.
Some say that I'm out of touch with the times, that this world is no place for a vision like mine. Well, still I can see it, and still I believe it. There's too many lives on the line. There's so many lives on the line.
We breathe the same air, drink the same water, walk the same earth, kiss the same sky. We breathe the same air. I think we ought to get along better, you and I. We breathe the same air, drink the same water, walk the same earth, kiss the same sky. We breathe the same air. I think we ought to get along better, you and I.